When Pattiya asks Dylan if he likes roller coasters, I was thinking, what in the Gravitron hell have we gotten ourselves into today? I feel like we have been spun around, tossed up, and spat out. If you would have asked me a month ago if I would be cheering on Luke at his wedding and disappointed with the other couples, what would your bet be?
That would have never been a bet I would have taken.
TLC editors have done it again. 90 Day Fiancé, the other way. Season 7, episode 20. Yo! Let's watch.
Remote reality, yeah, that's the key. Unlocking stories wild and free. With a host, side by side. Channel surfers, let's ride.
Welcome to Remote Reality. I'm Lauren, your friend and attorney host who loves to overanalyze everything, including our favorite reality TV shows. And what the heck? I almost had an aneurysm today with this one.
This episode was all over the place. Like the couples that usually get along are all fighting. The one that fights is getting along. And I'm like, what just happened? Are we in upside down world or something?
Today.
Yeah. And I'm Dee, Lauren's paralegal and smartass sidekick.
And I love that we're doing smartass instead of reluctant now.
Yeah, I think it fits my personality a little bit better.
We are just so excited that the channel surfers are watching our favorite shows with us. Thanks for watching 90 Day, Sister Wives, Raiders. This morning, I saw we had 166 subs on YouTube. I called Dee. I don't care what time it is. Time to wake up, Dee. That's what time it is.
I know. We were so excited. And then we talk about it forever because it just makes us so happy.
We have been doing the YouTube channel since June, the podcast since April. So if you're new here, and I'm going to try this again, I'm pointing up, hit that subscribe button. I'm going to put a link right there.
You always do that. And I think it's down here. So we'll just cover both.
That's because I do the editing. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm like blushing right now.
You left Lauren speechless, which is almost impossible to do.
Hey, Chloe got left speechless this episode.
True.
Johnny was being such a big dummy that she had no idea what to say. And you know what? Neither did I at times. Neither did I. Let's jump right into this.
Do it.
Let's start with Pattiya and Dylan and the joy it brings to my heart every time these scenes open and I see Jerry the kangaroo still holding on to life and not having been ground into hamburger patties by Dylan.
Yeah, we're so pleased that we don't have to watch any of the kangaroos get eaten. I don't like that. I don't like that.
I don't like the gym, which is where we're going today.
Oh, gosh.
Are we going to do try and buy, chest and fly, or glutes and flutes? What do you think?
I don't know. I think we should do wine and Jack Daniels, honestly, in a couple of hands, and we'll just watch.
Are we mixing these? It sounds like a hangover. I might actually choose the gym over that.
Like, I'll just, instead of dumbbells, I'm just going to get the wine bottles.
I was like, wait, are you calling me a dumbbell?
No.
Pattiya picks buys and tries, which biceps and triceps. I knew that.
I guess that's what it was.
But Dylan sits down at a fly machine, which is like a chest press. So did Dylan know what biceps and triceps are? Does he know how to work those out? I'm just kidding.
Good Lord, I hope so.
He looks like he can work it all out. I mean, he's got veins popping. I just thought it was funny because he is giving Pattiya so much shit on how, her posture and technique isn't right in the dumbbells and how he's just trying to help her. But she calls him out on it. She's like, dude, that's the chest.
Mm-hmm.
And she should be able to call him out on it. I mean, she's been working out since he was in diapers.
That's what she said. I was like, you got to kind of like stop and process it for a minute when she says something like that. Can you imagine though being him and hearing somebody say that to you?
I still think it's weird that my husband was graduating high school when I was in 7th grade. Yeah, that's probably a brain juggler. It's obvious that she has been working out since he's been in diapers because she says, feel the burn, which isn't that like Jane Fonda 1980s aerobics workout?
Maybe. Could be Richard Simmons. Richard Simmons was before Jane Fonda or right around the same time.
All I know is my husband's mom, she was an aerobics instructor in the 80s, and I just hear the stories. But she was like, feel the burn. Proof.
Yeah, it had to hurt. It had to hurt.
But we're not at that point now. Right now, we are just working on the chess machine, doing some warm-ups. Dylan tells Pattiya to slow down. I wonder if they forgot to change the weight and she's just over there just powering through the stuff he was going slow and using as a warm-up. She looks like she's got some good chest muscles.
Yeah, it also could be, I believe the resistance actually works better when you do the motion slowly. Like it's not something that you're supposed to be doing fast. So that could be it. I don't know. I don't know a whole lot about exercising because it's my least favorite thing in the world to do. It's probably been that long for me.
I'm not the one that's going to be giving the advice on that either. But I mean, like her chest sits up so high and like, I wonder if she was making him feel bad because she's calling him out on not doing the tries and buys. And then she's like powering through his set.
That's a good possibility.
She might have just been emasculating him, but that's fine. Go for it. I don't mind. Pattiya is feeling amazing about the engagement. Dylan, she feels like he's committed now and that she's the person he wants. So she's feeling that security going into this that he wanted her to feel, although she's still not sure about her future in Tasmania.
No. Were they stomping grapes? I was not sure when she said, what was it I thought she said?
Grape
and then I
smuggling?
realized, I don't know, but I was like, wait a minute. They're like, that was the cutest thing in this little barrel or something. Like they're standing there holding each other and stomping the grapes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so cute.
Dylan looks good in his hat. And Pattiya, she like at the gym, the woman is working out being sweaty. All the crap happens at the gym and she's just gorgeous. These stunners.
I'm so jealous.
She tells Dylan she's not sure and asks him if he wants to come back to the US. I wonder about the roadblocks here. First, Dylan has that real estate in Australia. So that's passive income. What do they do with that if they pick up and migrate to the US?
Good point.
Does he sell the property and is he able to buy property here to rent? I don't know what the costs are.
Right.
Financially, that's their passive income. The second thing, we speculated that perhaps Dylan overstayed his visa. A work visa, it's usually you can extend it for like 6 years. His might have been a specialized one as a performer for the show, which that can be renewed every year. If he had overstayed it for more than a year and then left the country, then it would be extremely hard for him to come back now. We know that they were together for 7 years in the US and they've been together 12 years. So they've been gone for 5. If he had overstayed a visa for over 360 days, then there's that 10-year ban on coming back even to visit. They could get married and try to get a waiver of the ban, but it's extremely, extremely hard to prove.
I wonder if it is something like that because this is the second time that she's left the United States to go wherever he was.
Which is why we speculated that earlier this season. Now, if he had overstayed the visa between 180 and a year, then it would be a 3-year ban. And they've been gone 5. He would have to report that on his visa application. But as long as the overstay wasn't due to like fraud or misrepresentation, instead it was just, oops, I stayed too long.
I fell in love and didn't want to leave.
Exactly. Now they're engaged. They could look at doing a K-1 visa. They could get married first and then look at doing a CR1 visa. The CR1, they would be married less than 2 years. It would make them a permanent resident, give a little bit more rights. We see a spoiler for the tell-all. And Sean Robinson asks Pattiya how things are going in Tasmania. And she's like, I have some news. Dylan is smiling. But when they do a clip beside it, they have this like serious face. But he's smiling when she says that. The editors are trying to trick us in that preview. I wonder if they're going to announce that they're coming back.
Or they're already back to the United States.
Maybe they'll be on like the regular 90-day. That would be cool.
Well, that would be. I'd love to follow them a little more.
So sorry about my lawyer nerdy rant. Channel surfers who've been with us know I've been taking some immigration law CLEs this year, and it's fun. I want to learn more about 90 Day Fiancé. That, and I have to do something for my requirements, so why not? Dylan goes out Pattiya, and I thought it looked like he was flirting. He's like putting his arms around her, helping show her how to lift the weights. Then he has his hands on her hips. This reminds me of like when a guy tries to show you how to play pool or work on your golf swing.
He just wanted to touch her. You know it.
He just wanted to get in front behind her and say, squeeze those glutes.
Now.
See, I'm like stumbling over my words just thinking about it. But I get where Pattiya, it's just like, dude, don't mansplain this to me. I was just explaining to you that you were on the wrong machine for tries and buys. Okay.
I thought she was doing better than some of the other people we've seen on reality shows trying to do some workouts.
I don't know, Cody Brown.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. He was doing those, you said his biceps with the free weights in a recent episode. If you're not a Sister Wives fan, this is a guy who married 4 women and 3 of them divorced him. And he thinks he's hot stuff. And he's lifting these free weights. He is using every muscle in his body to lift it. At least Pattiya was focusing in on a muscle group and not moving her entire body. If Dylan wants to give advice to someone who probably won't want to take advice and thinks they know everything, maybe go help Cody out, because I think he's going to hurt something. Cody Brown from Sister Wives.
Yeah, for sure. Who was it on Hunt for Love, though, that did like the coconuts or something? Weren't they like lifting coconuts out on the beach?
They all were. Usman.
Yeah,
Rob.
but one of them was having a really hard time with it. And then.
Was that Usman?
I think it was.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dylan, far be it for Pattiya not to want to take the advice of somebody who's like, let's do synchronized weightlifting. Never heard of it. Maybe he could teach me something. She thinks he's being controlling. I think he's being hurt. He says he wants to help her. He wants her to be the best version of himself, which so many guys have this savior complex and they just want to help. Like you tell them a problem and instead of just listening to what you have to say, they just want to jump in and fix it.
Yeah, I do that too. I like with my kids and
do
stuff.
that too.
Yeah, especially my kids. But
so many people.
I don't really think he's that controlling. He's very self-disciplined. He likes to see that structure around him, and he's trying to give her some pointers to kind of help her in a direction. I don't think he's trying to control her.
He was thinking, oh, I'm being flirty. I'm helping. This is a fun moment. And then she rejects him. And all of a sudden, he's seeing this as a microcosm of all the issues in their relationship. Everything just comes to the foreground. And I mean, everything. Dude starts talking about finances, which why are we talking about credit cards and a fast spending lifestyle? Even Pattiya, she doesn't understand why he's nitpicking her right after they got engaged.
Yeah, she doesn't understand where it's coming from. They talked this horse into the ground.
And I get it. Like, you have 6 credit cards. I'm worried about you having 7 or 8. And I want us to talk about big financial decisions. I want you to respect my opinions when I give input. But this isn't the place to bring it up. It's almost like he's going, oh, well, you don't want my advice about weightlifting. There's definitely places where you could use my advice. And he's just mudslinging because he's hurt.
Yeah, I can see that. That would make sense.
And this is just a great example of the difficulty of merging 2 lives later in life. Dylan is in his 50s, Pattiya's in her 50s. They're not used to having to run expenses by somebody or even like living with somebody and then being on the phone with their mom while you're trying to get their attention. And that's hard to all of a sudden go from being able to buy whatever you want, going on this $15,000 to $20,000 shopping sprees, to somebody saying, give me a heads up before you buy that bag. And, you know, they're going to say no. That's not a good idea. Not that he would like tell her no, but all of a sudden you're going to have to deal with the consequences of it. That's tough when you're not used to it.
Absolutely. Especially when she's been very independent. She's been making her own money for a very long time. And if they go to a single income or something, for example, where she doesn't have that income coming in anymore, she's definitely not going to be able to spend like that.
And even in situations where people keep their finances separate or they're wealthy, they still need to come together when they get married to financial plan, to plan for the future. What do we do if something happens? Inevitably, if you're living together, you're going to be sharing expenses, just merging their lives. I mean, I think this is something that a lot of couples go through. But again, Jim, probably not the place to be breaking this up. Now, do you notice how Pattiya says Dylan is controlling, and then Dylan says Pattiya is controlling because she freaks out when he talks to his mom and she's just like, you're full of shit. But they both accuse each other of being controlling. And then they both accuse each other of being dramatic. In ITMs, Dylan says Pattiya sometimes enjoys the chaos and drama. And then at the end of this, Pattiya is saying that he likes the roller coasters and he's full of drama. Are they just two peas in a pod here?
I was going to say they're just both adrenaline junkies. They belong together. Two peas in a pod, whatever you want to call it.
So as if the finances weren't completely out of left field, which goes into the control. I don't like you controlling me. I'm not controlling. Then we go into Dylan saying, you can't be controlled, Pattiya. Like, you do whatever you want. She's like, I do what I want.
That was a very good point.
But what he says then is, if I were controlling you, you wouldn't be stripping, which, oh, I'm sorry, you're an exotic dancer too. And you've known this is her occupation since you met her. If this is the person you want to be with, you gotta accept who she is. If this is the person you want, then you have to accept all of who she is. And then it gets even worse because Dylan says that she has high rollers' phone numbers in her phone, which makes sense. Like, these are good paying customers. And then he starts talking about how she goes out at all hours of the night with guys and he doesn't know what she's up to. And when he asks her about the champagne room, she brushes it off. Does she brush it off, like dodges the question, or does she give him an answer and he just doesn't believe her answer? And he's saying he doesn't know what happens in the champagne rooms and she's at hotels. He's saying that I'm a prostitute. I am an entertainer, not a prostitute. I've been telling him for 12 years that I'm not that kind of girl. And he still isn't listening. So she gets up and walks away and goes into the bathroom, which, Dylan, take a page out of Pattiya's book here. He felt rejected. And then he starts with, well, here's all the reasons you should listen to me. And then it just spirals. Had he taken a moment, said, I really care about you. I'm a little frustrated right now. Everything's going to be okay. I just need a minute. And then he stepped away, we would be in a whole different place. Just like that minor adjustment. Because I don't feel like they're horrible at communicating, but nobody is good at communicating when they're doing it out of anger or they're offended. And you know what? Pattiya, she is an entertainer. She is a Vegas exotic dancer. That's like the top of the game here. She's not dancing in some little dive bar out in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
She is an entertainer.
Yeah.
Respect that game.
He should already know this. Like, I'm wondering if it's just some kind of way for him to lash out. They've been together for so long. I just find it hard to believe that this is still an issue with them over and over and over again when they know that this is the profession that she's in and what level it is.
And she's got to be sitting here thinking, I'm engaged to this guy and he doesn't know me. He doesn't know that I'm not the person that is taking extra tips for sexual favors in the club.
Well, or maybe he does know her. Maybe he knows that saying what he said would set her off. And that's exactly why he said it, because you think that he might have been hurt. So this was his way of, okay, I know this gets to her when I say this, so I'm just going to say it.
Again, one of the reasons I think this is out of hurt. After she goes to the bathroom, she comes back out and they sit outside. And she's crying. At first, I thought maybe this was an act, but she's really upset.
Oh, yeah. You can see the tears on her lashes.
Although I do have to say, when she was initially wiping her eyes and walking to the bathroom, I'm 100% sure TLC edited in those crying sounds.
Oh, my gosh.
So she comes out of the bathroom like very composed and, but no, the tears outside, very real. We're not talking Robin Brown tears from Sister Wives. These are real. And I get it. If I had told somebody for 12 years I'm not a prostitute and they didn't believe me, I probably wouldn't be engaged to them. But then again, after 12 years, she probably also realizes Dylan can say things out of being hurt.
It cannot be easy to be a partner to somebody who does exotic dancing at
No.
all.
Well,
And
go ahead.
even as good looking as he is, I'm sure it still triggers some kind of insecurities with him.
All right, here's my take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that men can go around without shirts, but not women?
I have no idea.
Seems like a pretty big double standard. I've seen men, well, not with bigger boobs than me, but with bigger boobs than some women walking around on the beach. Why
Right.
can't we free the titties? Why is there so much shame around it?
I don't
I mean,
know.
maybe they just don't want to see my disgusting saddlebags that are hanging down, to my knees, but they're boobs. Woohoo!
It could go either way. If he's an exotic dancer, she could very well have insecurities about it too. It goes both ways. They're both in the same profession, which probably actually helps in some regards.
But then again, it makes him look like a hypocrite.
Yeah, it does. I don't know if he's doing champagne rooms. That's the thing. If he's doing champagne rooms and things like that, he should know what's going on. And that
All right,
should
Dylan,
actually help.
I will tell you about my experience in a champagne room.
Tell us your experience.
I did have some friends that were exotic dancers when I was in college, and we would go in and have a few drinks and support them. And they had the high rollers that would come in, and those guys, they like buddied up to me and my friends because they're like, oh, you guys are friends with the dancers. They would buy us drinks and they're like, come in the champagne room with us. The girls, first of all, as soon as they see another female's in there, they like flock to you. You're not a disgusting guy that's in there. So they're like, hey, I'm just going to come give you a lap dance. And they just like get really close to your face and everything. But it's just like a lap dance. And one of my friends, she said, yeah, there are some people who cross those lines, but I don't do that. I'm a professional.
Boundaries.
And I believe that Pattiya's not doing anything.
Yeah, I believe she has boundaries and things that she's not going to cross. And she does what she needs to do to get the big bucks without crossing them.
Well, and she's an entertainer. She talked about the excitedness of like standing on stage. She really gets joy just out of doing the performance.
Yeah.
But yeah, Dylan, the other reason that this is all just BS to hurt her is because after she starts crying, it brings him to tears. And he says, I don't care. I would still love you. I don't care. I just want to know the truth, which, dude, she's told you for 12 years. What do we need to tattoo it on you? If it didn't mean anything and you trust her, then A, you would know she's telling the truth. And B, if it doesn't mean anything, you wouldn't be bringing it up. You just know it's going to get at her.
That's
and
what
it's because
I think
you were hurt. In that moment, he's in tears because he's like,
ashamed
oh
of
man,
himself.
I fired off at the mouth. Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of ashamed of yourself, should we go ahead and jump into Chloe and Johny?
Let's do it.
Or should I say not being ashamed of yourself? Quickly, though, before we jump over to the chaos of this episode. First of all, I think I figured out who likes the drama more.
Between those two?
Yes. Between
Which one do you?
Dylan and Pattiya.
Which
It's
one?
Dylan. It's Dylan. Because at the very end of this, he goes, I love this crazy, beautiful love, and I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And Pattiya's like, yeah, it's crazy. So I think Pattiya was right. Dylan's the one that likes the roller coasters. All right. And then part 2, let me go ahead and share this.
Well, he is a little bit of a poet. He writes those songs and stuff.
All right. I had to do a screenshot of this. Dylan got attacked by a vampire. Look, there is like a bite mark that looks like somebody sucked right here under his collarbone. And there's another one right here on his arm. I'm pointing with my mouse.
Looks like Pattiya's been eating him, maybe.
Maybe he's acting all crazy because of vampire attacks. Just a theory. All right, let's move on to some more craziness. All right, Chloe and Johny. Chloe has gone to get her things after finding out that Johny was texting asking for nudes. Her mom is going to be so happy.
No shit. Mom will be like, I told you so. It's going to be one of those I told you so
got a
moments.
whole new comforter for you. I've redone your bedroom.
I bought you a new car. Come on home, girl.
Wouldn't buy you one for Aruba, but you should see the one I have for you here.
Sitting here in the driveway in Massachusetts.
In last episode, we left off with Chloe coming in, Johnny saying, "What do you want?" And she's just crying. She wants to go home.
Bless her heart.
I was surprised she started off by apologizing to him.
Mm-hmm.
She said she was sorry for saying things to him that made him upset. So I think she was talking about his mom.
Mm-hmm. That's what I was assuming.
Don't apologize. I am sure his mom would be disappointed in his behavior. So much WTF here. Johnny is actually making me side with Chloe.
Yes.
Actually, in this episode, I find myself siding with Luke over Johnny, which is unforgivable.
Oh my gosh, that is unforgivable coming from you because you're like the biggest Luke disliker of all people I know.
The world's been flipped upside down. Johnny is sitting there like, I'm not trying to excuse anything, and I'm sorry, but I'm just a guy. So what? I like women. Get this douchebag off of my screen.
What
I
the
know
hell?
so many guys who don't text women asking them for nudes while they're in relationships, which also isn't fair to the person you're texting who probably doesn't know you have a girlfriend.
So bizarre.
I hope that in a few years, Chloe can look back and be like, this dude was a joke. He was a pretend pirate. What the hell was I thinking?
She has to do that.
But he is gaslighting her. He tries to tell her why she's upset. She's upset because she didn't know who the girl was. And they're talking about he had this folder with pornographic videos with him and past flings and nudes in it. And he was texting one of the girls from those videos while they're in the diary room, the ITMs, asking for nudes. And he's like, no, you're just upset that you didn't know who she was. Because when you asked me, I lied to you about it. You're just mad that you didn't know. No, she's mad because you lied to her. Way to try to shift this blame on her. And then he says, well, you saw the video, almost like you should realize that that was that girl. Like you've seen that video before. I'm sure what was focused on in that video are probably parts of the girl that she wouldn't recognize. And she at least had enough suspicion to ask you time and time again, and you deny it.
Right. Well, and he's also going at her for getting in his phone. You shouldn't have gotten in my phone. Well, why would you do that? That's my phone. And she's like, but I was right. I was right.
All right. Where do you fall on this?
I do not believe in going in somebody else's phone. No, absolutely not.
Agreed. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
But right now isn't really the time to bring that up, Johnny.
No.
It's time to eat some humble pie. It's time to accept responsibility, which is not what he's doing. He is shifting the responsibility to Chloe. She went in his phone, and then she is a horrible person because she is taking screenshots of old stuff that happened before we were together and using it to make her friends think that he's some horrible guy. Newsflash. They already think you're a horrible guy. They said that you've done this since before her. That's a reflection on you and your behavior, not what she's showing them, which is the truth about you. Here's the thing. If you were being a great boyfriend, would you care that she was going and telling her friends all of the things that you did?
If he was being a good boyfriend, is that what you said?
Yeah, if he was keeping his nose clean, doing what he should be doing.
Yeah, and she's talking about how great her boyfriend is to her friends. He probably would not be caring. No.
The only reason behind this fatwa on talking about their relationship is because he is screwing up in their relationship. And he doesn't want to take accountability for it. He doesn't want to hear it from someone else. He doesn't want to hear how his mom would be disappointed in him. And that probably does hurt. To know that you aren't living the way that she raised you.
I'm sure. Look, he's on a freaking show. Like, how much is he going to be able to hide?
He's got a girlfriend who is freaking Inspector Gadget. And he thinks that lying and saying, I didn't have sex with a girl, when he has a video of him having sex with a girl in his phone is a good idea. Or that I got rid of this folder of pictures when he still has it, you don't think she's going to figure this out. The one that is tracking you with cameras everywhere.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not girls coming out of the woodwork at this point.
He is so dumb.
He
And
is.
then he wants to tell her that she's a child.
No, he don't get to do that. Not after what he's done to her.
He is taking such an immature view on this. I'm a guy. I like women. I'm bored.
Mm-hmm.
He's the biggest baby here. When I hear him talking, this is all I see. And if you're on YouTube, you see a gigantic baby face talking. Because, yeah, he is a baby. Okay. Chloe, not the most mature person, but she's 20 and she's figuring life out. And you know what? You're a freaking cheater. So, should she have been looking in your phone? No. Should she have been putting cameras on you, putting trackers on you? No, absolutely not. She should have broken up with you from jump if she had to be in that position to be able to be in a relationship with you. Like, if you have to go to those measures, break up. But
Mm-hmm.
you're 32 years old. You play pretend pirate, and you can't take accountability for lying to somebody, for cheating on somebody. That is a gigantic baby. The inability to take accountability. What do you think?
I agree. He's just chasing his ass trying to come up with stuff, and everything that comes out of his mouth is just stupid.
So stupid.
It's stupid.
And it's hurtful. At one point, he's just like, you ain't worth shit, dude. And he repeats it over and over to Chloe.
What a dick. Did you notice, like, as he's talking, he doesn't even look like the Johnny that was in the previous episodes, like at the beginning. Like, his expression, his face.
He's dirty on the outside, which is matching his inside.
Exactly. Like, he doesn't even look like the same person. Maybe it's because we know that he's a shit.
And he's
that's the
sounding
reason.
like an idiot now. He's like,
Right.
oh, they're just nudes. Okay, so at this point, after he's telling her she ain't shit, then Chloe, I'm like, please walk away from this. And she's like, that's enough. I'm speechless. I have nothing left to say to you. Go hide your face, preferably in a pillow for like 10 or 15 minutes until you pass out, and maybe I won't ever have to see you again. But
I was
go
thinking
hide.
I was thinking a toilet. Just hit the flush button.
Go what? No, swirly yourself.
Yeah,
what
go
it's called?
swirly yourself.
Go do a little swirly on you. And I'm going to take my bags out. Don't touch my shit. And she starts bringing her stuff outside. And the first thing he does is scoop up her shit. He is doing everything he can to get under her skin.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I said, don't touch my shit. And he's like, all right, well, go in there and get your rings. And Chloe's like, what? I don't have rings. She goes in the house and she's looking around. She's like, what are you talking about? I don't have rings here. And he goes into the bathroom and hands her this jar, presumably with cubic zirconia earrings, because immediately Chloe's like, that shit ain't mine. Those aren't my earrings. Trust.
If this isn't the cherry on top of this shit sundae, now he's going to give her jewelry that's not even hers.
And not even real.
So much for just nudes.
And at that point, she's like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. Get my stuff out faster. And then all of a sudden, Johnny, we go from you ain't shit, nobody would want to be with you, to what are you doing? He gets panicked as soon as he sees that switch flip in her where she's like, I'm done with your ass.
Mm-hmm.
He panicked and he's like, I just wanted to talk things out. Well, she tried talking to you and that went downhill. I just want to work it out. And she's like, no, it ain't working. It ain't working. Me, the cheater who has told you that you ain't shit and tried to justify cheating on you and keeping sex videos of people and also sharing them with his partner. Like, I feel bad too for the women who sent these. I don't really know the etiquette of nudes because I've never sent them. But I would think that they're intended for the time that you are with that person. Even if it's just, a hookup, it's intended for that moment, not for you to save in your spank bank forever and share with your future partners or leave for them to find.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about nudie etiquette?
I do not. We didn't even have cell phones when I had a body where I could have sent that kind of stuff. So,
Girl, same. But given all of this, Johnny's like, I'll take you back. No, thank you. What did he expect? Her to be like, yes, please, finally, after you tell her what a horrible person she is and how nobody would want to be with her?
goodness, that is so screwed up. It's so screwed up.
He's like, I can't believe you're just getting upset. They're just nudes and you're getting so mad at me. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Just nudes left their earrings at your house.
Wah, wah.
I just can't get over him saying, this isn't an excuse. I'm not trying to justify it, but I'm a fucking guy. I like women. I was bored. I'm so glad that Chloe stood her ground and she was like, look, when I'm bored, I go to the beach. Let's think of things that Johnny could do when he was bored. I don't know. He could drink alcohol. You come up with something.
He could play video games.
There we go. 2 things you could do when you're bored. You could go work out at the gym. You could play golf. You could go surfing. A million different things would come to my mind before I thought about asking some rando for nudes. So I was glad that she called him out on that. And then she also calls him out on, it's just a thing guys do. She's like, my ex didn't do that. Burn. My ex. My shitty ex wasn't even that shitty. And my dad didn't do it to my mom, which you always hear that your kids are going to see your relationship and look back on it. And here's that moment. We see it happening right here on our TVs. Chloe looks back at her parents and she's like, this isn't right because that's not how my dad treated my mom, which is why they say it's important to be a good example for your kids. I know that when I was younger, I would do that.
I just wonder if at some point he's used this excuse before with a girl and gotten away with it. Like they accepted that as a plausible excuse.
Really?
She'd have to be brain dead. I'm just saying why
I
would
just
he
think
even
he's so stupid that he doesn't realize this isn't making you look any better.
Well, that's true. I'm just trying to come up with at least one excuse why he would say something so stupid.
He says so many. He's like, do you think that any man would want a woman that disrespects him? I'm sorry. You want all this respect after lying to her and cheating on her and telling her that she ain't worth shit. You think you deserve respect? And why is that?
Look, he just completely screwed up on national TV and everybody saw how badly he disrespected this girl. He is never going to find somebody that's going to give him any respect.
But everybody, I don't know if people in Aruba watch US 90 Day.
I just said national. I just said
He'll find somebody.
yeah, probably.
Chloe was even like, this is why I didn't cook and clean for you. Like, you're the man and this is what you do. And I guess you expect me to like be cooking you meals. Well, this is why I didn't do it. Chloe, look, future relationships, just embrace it. If you're not the cooking and cleaning type, that's fine. I'm neurodivergent. I'm definitely not that type. Oh my God. And our microwave broke and it's part of our oven. Anyway, so we can't just go out and get a new microwave. I swear to God, I'm starving right now because I don't cook and I can't microwave. I don't have a microwave to make myself food. So it's okay. If you would starve because you don't have a microwave, it's fine. I have hit up McDonald's a few times, not going to lie. He's just sitting there poking at her. He has this smile on his face, like a possum eating shit. And he's telling her, like, you're not compatible and you don't know how to have conversations and you can't control your emotions when she starts to defend not being compatible. She's like, I wouldn't be compatible with a guy like you. Nobody would be. He's like, you can't control your emotions. Still smiling with this shit eating grin. He knows he's trying to rile her up. Here's my theory. Johnny, he's trying to break her down. He knows he's a fuck up. He knows he's screwed up. He wants her back. He knows he's a piece of shit for what he did. So let's tell her she's a piece of shit. Let's point out all of the bad things about her. Let's criticize everything she does. Let's tell her that I don't want her back. And he continues to do this as long as he's getting a reaction. He's like, she's engaging with me. This is good. But the moment that she flips the switch and she's done, I don't deserve this. We're finished. Then he realized that his plan is backfiring. And that moment, after he has torn her down, is when he finally decides to start begging and taking accountability, which is what he should have done from the beginning. Because at that point, he's like, I'm sorry. I'll never do it again. Why would she believe that? He stops making the excuses. It's gross that he had to sit there and put her down until he realized she was finally ready to walk away. And it doesn't work because at this point she gets in the car and drives off. Now, there's a preview for the tell-all. And Sean asks him, have you moved on? And he says it's complicated. And then we see Chloe get upset. This seems pretty fast. And they're kind of hinting that it's something serious, which going back to what we saw in today's episode, Chloe says, look, nobody is going to put up with this shit. I put up with it for longer than anybody else will. So what do you think Johnny's going to do? He's going to go and love bomb somebody and get them invested and get in deep before they realize who he is. We're going to make them fiancé before the 1.5 year mark because it gets harder to walk away at that point.
Well, it gets
Chloe was,
it gets harder to hide yourself too once you get through that honeymoon stage.
but he needs to get them emotionally invested so they feel like they're giving up an engagement. They're giving up love. Chloe hit that nail on the head. She's like, nobody's going to put up with it for that long. And then presumably we're going to see next week that Johnny, he's hooked somebody quickly because he knows got to get him on the hook before they realize it's too late. It's gross. Jenny and Sumit, actually, again, before I transition to Jenny and Sumit, Johnny says at the end that he's learned some sort of lesson, which I think is move faster and get them hooked faster. I felt so bad for Chloe at the end, though, because she says it doesn't make sense. She's tossing around in her mind why he was saying she was the problem and that she was wrong. Chloe, this isn't about you. I mean, some of it, maybe next time you learn, if you have to put trackers on a guy, this isn't Mr. Right. Just end it first.
Understand that's a red flag if you got to do that. Cameras in their house, trackers on their phone.
He didn't do this because of you. He did it before you. He'll do it after you. So don't sit there and blame yourself. And Chloe wonders if Johnny ever loved her. He did, but he loved you in the way that he could love you. Does that make sense? That was what he's capable of giving. And it's not enough. And you're right. You deserve somebody who is capable of giving you so much more. He's stunted. He's that giant baby.
Yeah, he's emotionally immature.
All right. Jenny and Sumit, this is pretty quick before we get to
Luke and Madelein.
I don't even have words for how to describe Luke and Madelein. They're sitting in a parked car in an alley. And this just reminds me of Grand Theft Auto Vice City, where if you go into the alley and you pick up a prostitute and you sit there long enough, the car will start shaking because she's giving you a blowjob. Throwback. Any gamers who remember that?
Maybe they should be getting them some in the car.
Jenny is sexually repressed here.
She is sexually deprived.
Sumit gets in the car and he's just, really? And Jenny's like, yeah, really? They're just saying really to each other because they're leaving the beach from their date that Sumit planned. And she had, at the end of the last episode, just told him, I don't want nothing to do with your family. I told them we're done with them. We're leaving. Now, Jenny, she tells Sumit, you should have tried harder and did whatever it took to keep this apartment. She is not happy. Sumit makes a good point. She wanted acceptance for so long. She finally has it. She is living in the house with the family. They've taken her under their roof, which culturally you have multi-generational housing. They're accepting you into their family. And you've got it now and you want to move out.
He's right.
He's right.
That's all she did was complain about how much his mom couldn't stand her and didn't like her, wouldn't accept them being married and stuff. And now that she has it, she just wants to leave.
Well, newsflash. I still think that Sumit's mom, Sadhna, can't stand Jenny. But let's say that she was the perfect mother-in-law, if that even exists. I don't know. Mine's pretty great. I can't complain. Not today.
Like you're saying that with a straight face.
She really is. She is a sweet, kind-hearted lady. And
she is.
People have their differences and she can get on my nerves sometimes.
Just buy the damn rug, Lauren, and get it over with. Just buy the damn rug
anyway,
and it's over.
This could be offensive, telling his parents that she wants to move out. So she has the
Mhm.
acceptance, and now what she's doing might be counteracting that. So it's like, dude, look, we lived in an apartment. We lived high on life for a while to the point where we can't afford it anymore. And we need to rely on my parents financially. I don't know what's happened to Family Cafe. That thing disappeared like a magic act.
Yeah, they're not even talking about it anymore.
Poof, it is gone. Maybe there was a gas leak, but
Could have been the water.
Jenny's main complaint, well, I was like, poof, gas leak,
Oh,
exploded.
gotcha.
Oh,
Gotcha.
bad joke.
Sorry. My
Bad
brain.
joke. Jenny's main concern here, though, is she can't do any of the stuff that they used to do. They can't even have sex. So I've got this idea. Instead of taking her to the beach, next time take her to a hotel room. Go to the hotel and hoe her up.
She's
Help.
horny.
Give her, stick it in. Whirl it around.
Give it to her well.
Put on some Berry White, and then things might look a little bit better. I don't know. She still can't walk around without a bra, which that's a hard one.
Mm-hmm.
Sumit doesn't understand how Jenny can enjoy her life if she's by herself. She should be happy. She has him. She has his family. He says they have the business, which prove it didn't happen. And this is just a cultural difference. This is not how Jenny has spent her life imagining her retirement, and living with the family is how Sumit has imagined his whole life. Like
That's two different pages.
the ideal.
That's not even in the same book.
And is this something you think they can move past? I would imagine it's hard. It would be very hard.
In this particular situation, somebody's got to give to the other. I don't think there's a compromise for something like this.
I mean, Sumit did say he enjoyed living with Jenny, but financially it was a drain. So you don't think there's a compromise?
No, because if he wants to live with his family and she wants her own place with him, where's there a compromise in there? They could maybe get a place close to his family where they could go and come and see them when they wanted to, but they still had their own place. But otherwise, no, I don't think it's just something that you can find a compromise for.
That's a good point. He does expect Jenny to see it the same way that he does, but you can't expect somebody to change the way that they think, which is where compromise would come in. The way that Sumit is seeing it is that Jenny is being selfish. He's given her everything she wanted for 7 years. He got divorced for her from his arranged marriage. He's risked his place in society. He has risked his relationship with his family. And he needs Jenny the most right now. I mean, he needs his parents the most because financially they're broke as shit. And she's not ready to adjust and sacrifice. I wonder how long they've been living with his parents.
Wonder if it's been long enough for her to decide this definitely isn't for me. Is that what you mean? Or if it's just been a short amount of time and there still needs to be some adjusting?
I just wonder because she's very agitated with it. And that could be a factor. Like she's dealt with the crap long enough. This one's a hard one for me. I saw somebody online saying that Americans that move overseas and they don't want to conform to the culture, that is peak entitlement. I think that if you move to a different culture, you should try to assimilate into it. You should be respectful of it, but your culture is part of who you are. So just because you go to a different country doesn't mean that you need to shed who you are and leave that at the door. The same with people coming to the US. It works both ways. And it's interesting. I was listening to Trevor Noah talk about when he goes back to South Africa to visit his family. And one of the people he was talking to says, I can't shake some of the things I've picked up in American culture, even when I go back overseas to my home. And he says, no, I pretty much fall right back into being South African. But the one thing that he noticed is the idea that you can make anything happen. That is very American. And that is a mindset now that he was discovered by Jon Stewart and on The Daily Show. That's something that he can't shake now, which was so interesting. So even though he goes so much back to where he came from when he goes home, there's a part of American culture that now goes with him. So Jenny, she hasn't learned the language. It is harder to learn languages though as you get older. But she is wearing the cultural
Mhm.
clothing. She is making the cultural food. She is trying to live with the family, which for 7 years, that's not what she was doing. So this is very new. And while it may be cultural to live with your family, I don't know that having a culturally abusive mother-in-law is that
Mm.
cultural? I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
She's telling Jenny she's fat and lazy.
That's not cool.
So I get that Sumit wants her to stay, but his mom is hard to live with. Even Sumit's sister-in-law
Mhm.
has had her troubles with mom, and she's part of the Indian culture.
Mhm. True.
So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to say that Jenny just needs to put up and shut up and deal with somebody that's being controlling and telling her she's fat and telling her she's lazy,
Right.
especially when they know this is the first time that she's living with family
Mhm.
and not easing her into it. She's been there 7 years, but this is a big transition.
Well, and I'm assuming that it's culture that he won't talk to his mom about the way she talks to Jenny. To
He did at the park, and remember,
but
all of
that
a sudden she blew a fuse and she was sick in bed.
was that about her calling her names though, like fat and
Yeah.
lazy? Oh,
Yeah. He
okay.
said, you got to stop riding her and stop calling her names.
Well,
And
then
she freaked out.
right. But since that conversation, mom got sick. So they've not really had a chance to see if mom's going to make an effort for that to change because she walked in there to give her mother in law the soup or whatever and told her right then, we're leaving.
What part of her response at the park makes you think that Sadhana's changing?
I'm just saying. Maybe she calmed down and thought about it and is going to try. I don't know. I'm just trying to
You didn't watch earlier episodes with Jenny and Sumit, but his
Mm-mm.
mom threatened to unalive herself if Sumit stayed with
see,
her.
I didn't.
There
Yeah,
is
see, I-
emotional manipulation here.
Okay. See, I'm looking at this from a completely different perspective because I've never seen any of the episodes with Jenny and Sumit before this season.
So does that,
That definitely changes my thought.
to me,
Yeah.
it's not just
This
a
is
fat
not something that's
lady
going to
that
change.
she has tried to use emotions to manipulate them in the
Yeah,
past.
this is not a behavior that's going to change. This is not a behavior that somebody's going to look and say, "Oh, I shouldn't have done that. That was rude of me.
Well,
That's mean of me." No.
even the way
Okay.
she reacted at the park, we could
Mhm.
see. At this point, Jenny is like, Sumit, you are going to figure out a place for us to live,
Mhm.
or I'm going to leave, which I guess she's not expecting him to figure out a place for her to live.
No, she basically it was we go or I go. However you want to do it, I don't care, but I'm going.
Although if she goes, she's like, I have no options.
Mhm.
Go back to the US. When they buy
Yep.
your ticket for the tell all, don't go back.
Mhm.
And then you can live with your family. If she lived with her daughters, I think she would be fine with it because they're not emotionally abusing her.
Right. Yeah.
His mom demanding that she do things that could be cultural, but demanding it in a way where you're name calling.
That's not cool. That's not
No.
nice. It doesn't have to be done that way.
All right. And speaking of, you don't have to do it that way. Luke and Madelein. Luke and Madelein. What an event this wedding was. It was the biggest event since her quinceañera last year.
I didn't see that last year.
You told me you didn't know what a quinceañera was. I've got it Googled up on the screen. In Latin America, for a girl's 15th birthday, it's like the sweet 16 here. It's the big deal. And the reason I thought Quinceañera was Madelein's dress when she puts on the tulle portion of it, but you can see here, like you see
Mhm.
how big these skirts are.
That
They're
doesn't
huge.
even- They look beautiful, but they cannot be comfortable to wear at all.
Like, look how gigantic this is. So it reminded me of the Quinceañera dresses. They're really
Gotcha.
gorgeous. So
That's
yeah, it is
beautiful.
a big event, big celebration. And her dress reminded me of it. It's not far away from being 15. So they're at a resort called the Bliss Club. I love that they were using lavender for the flowers. That was so pretty.
It was very pretty. And that's my favorite color. I love purple. Purple's my favorite color.
The puppies were so cute too. The one had the little pink dress.
Adorable.
For my wedding. Okay, just like real quick recap for new channel surfers. We told our families that we were going to have a Christmas pajama brunch. And we had it catered, and we all show up on Christmas morning, and my husband and I come out in a suit and dress with a notary. And it was a surprise pajama breakfast with our families. But
Wedding.
Wedding. My husband was 40. I was 34 when we got married. And I made my dogs. I had 4 dogs at the time. They were my bridesmaid and groomsmen, and they had little dresses and little bow ties on. Not as cute as this, though. This is very cute. I was a big fan. I'm sure people are like, that was stupid, but I thought it was adorable.
I was a big fan. I'm a doggy person too.
I love the puppies, and they are so cute. I mean, they're the size as squirrels, but they are adorable. Her bouquet was white lilies, which my favorite flower. So I was a big fan of that. The dude on the hoverboard watercraft thing that was doing the entertainment, that was really neat. I've never seen one of those.
I've seen some video of them, and they're very fun to watch. Very fun.
Besides the helicopter, we'll talk about that as it comes into focus. What else did you notice about the wedding? Her dress is gorgeous. We talked about her dress. It was
the
gorgeous.
dress. Yeah. When I originally saw the dress, I was like, oh, that's so pretty. All the sequins and the see-through meshy kind of material. It looks like ice skating material or something.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. We've been watching Traders with Tara and Johnny, and it did look like she was about to go to the ice capades, kind of.
Yes.
It was completely rhinestone.
Mm-hmm.
I did not expect the large tulle skirt that we see her get out of the helicopter with. Wasn't a fan of that.
I wasn't. I liked the dress by itself before she put the skirt on it. But I assumed that it was
cultural.
Yeah, maybe something like that. The skirt was more for the wedding, and then it was removable for the reception after the wedding. But she looked amazing in it. That fit her body like a glove when they put it on.
It would have fit me like a sausage. I would have kept this skirt on to hide the rolls. Let's be honest. Her Aunt Paula's dress, too, so pretty. And her aunt, dazzling.
Just beautiful.
Yes. Beautiful.
Yes.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of thought we were going to see ponies in a big bouncy castle. I'm a little disappointed. Maybe a ball pit. Luke, he was using a steamer for the first time. I wonder if he's ever even ironed something. He's like, oh, I've never straightened something out before, or if he's just never used a steamer.
I'm going to put bets on never ironing or steamer.
I'm thinking he's an iron guy. Luke, remember, he is very into his looks and his fashion.
Yeah, but I'm thinking it comes straight from like a dry cleaner already ready to put on. I'm not thinking he's doing any of this stuff.
That is an excellent point. I don't iron. I have a steamer. Do I know how to? Yes. Would I probably burn it? Yes. So Aunt Paula, they are getting ready, and she brings 2 huge glasses of white wine. And I have to remind myself the drinking age is different.
Mm-hmm.
She's old enough. Now, Madelein tells her Aunt Paula that Luke's dad approached her last night. And I am so glad about the response. She told Jim, I respect that you're Luke's dad, but that doesn't mean what he's doing is right. Like, what he's doing is still wrong. I just love that she stands up for herself. Now, Jim, it's the wedding day. He's asking Luke today if he has doubts. And he asked this to Madelein last night. And Luke, he's like, yeah, I've got some doubts. We have been arguing nonstop, but I love this girl. I feel like I'm ready. And later he says the wedding's probably been called off 10 times. Who knows at this point? You know what? Just take those red flags. Let's make some flowers out of them and put them in the bouquet.
Tight.
Because that's what we're doing at this wedding.
Yeah.
Madelein paused when Jim asked her the night before, and Jim tells that to Luke. She didn't respond. She just paused. We see Madelein in the ITMs, and she's like, look, this is the man I love, but I still have so many doubts. And she does this hand gesture like she's answering a phone, a corded phone, not a cell phone. Like, what was that? Madeleine only wants to be married once.
Well,
And she's acknowledging, she's like, Luke and I have issues. We're trying to work them out. I don't want to be hurt. It's almost like she's not leaving to avoid the hurt, but staying in this is just going to lead to a bigger hurt when it doesn't.
yeah, she's put all of her eggs in one basket here.
Well, she's tried to leave a few times, which I've got a helicopter theory we'll get to.
Okay.
Aunt Paula tries giving a pep talk. Marriage ain't easy. It's overwhelming. You have to rise above family and money. Like, what do you mean rise above family? Like, I get rising above money. What does she mean by rising above family?
I don't know, unless there was more. Maybe she's talking about the dad. Maybe there was more to that conversation than we saw.
That could make sense. She's like, the love is beautiful and you should fight for it. There's a time, though, that you can put down your dukes. Take off those boxing gloves. I'm going to disagree with Aunt Paula here.
Yeah, I just love it when all of these people just think love has everything to do with it and nothing else. There are so many things that if they're not included, love don't make a difference. It's just not going to work.
Compatibility and commitment.
Trust issues.
I heard somebody the other day saying that marriages and relationships are declining. More people are alone because marriage used to be focused on the family and now it's focused on individual needs. Anyway, off that soapbox, what do you think about Madeleine wearing black underwear while trying on her wedding dress? Any thoughts? It's like, what you doing? What are you doing, girl?
I think black is actually what you're supposed to wear under like white or
what not to wear?
Yeah. Yeah. There's
Oh.
something about wearing black. I've heard some people say nude. Maybe it's nude. Maybe I'm confusing it with nude. But
If
I think
wore
it's black.
I feel like you'd see my underwear lines.
It's supposed to do something. I can't remember, but I want to say that you're supposed to wear black or nude, not white.
Let me Google it.
Okay.
It can be a deliberate fashion statement for a bold, contrasting look, but for an invisible effect, not usually ideal.
Okay, then it must be nude that I'm thinking of. The nude
Okay,
color.
that might make a little sense. I felt a little bit good that when they put on her dress, her skin pinched together some. I'm like, mine pinches. I have little flaps every time I button something up. I'm not alone. It even happens to Madeleine.
I don't have flaps. I've got rolls.
I'm just going to be nice and call mine flaps today.
Okay. I got muffin tops.
So we're getting to the wedding. Jim is standing up there with Luke and he's like, do you need Kleenex? He's going to need some towels. I've never seen somebody cry so much at a wedding.
Oh my gosh. When he saw her,
I'm assuming
course-
they were happy tears.
I'm assuming so too. He was just blubbering.
So tell us about, somebody was saying they want to hear Dee talk more. Dee, tell us about the entrance.
She came in
I'm
in
sure
a
you have
helicopter.
words for this.
They're about to learn why I don't do most of the talking because I'm a woman of very few words.
Cool. We get on the phone and you start going off and I'm like, save it for the podcast, save it for the podcast.
Yeah,
and as soon as
then I'm
I hit
all like,
record,
I'm
like,
camera shy. I'm camera shy. And they didn't want me to talk more. They just didn't want you to interrupt me when I did talk.
I never know when you're going to say anything because it's so rare.
I know. And I'm also getting over being sick. So the more I talk, the more I want to cough. So,
all right. Well, let's lose your voice. Tell us
She
about
comes in-
Madeleine's entrance.
she comes in the helicopter, which I just thought was a bizarre choice. Not a fan of it at all. But then it starts like squirting some kind of like mist or smoke or something out the sides of it. I'm like, what the hell is that supposed to be? Like, what is it?
Orange mist. Do you think they tried to save some money and they went and got a crop dusting helicopter?
Is that a
Are they
thing?
crop dusting everybody? Are they spraying Agent Orange?
Are
It
they
was orange.
poisoning?
It was literally orange.
They're poisoning the guest?
I don't know what they're doing. What was that orange powder?
I don't know. I did not know what that was about. I honestly did not understand even what the helicopter was about. I
Okay.
could think.
Theory. I got the theory.
Okay. What's your theory?
How many times has Madeleine called it quits on Luke and tried to leave?
Oh my gosh.
10,
Probably
so many we can't
12.
count.
Yeah.
So let's say we get into a runaway bride scenario. Madeleine is coming into this still not super sure, which isn't great for your wedding day. But every time in the past that Luke has chased her, she just goes right back to it. Today's going to be high pressure. If she tries to run on foot, which we got to talk about the heels. I don't know how she's even walking. And Luke tries to chase her. He's going to catch her. There's going to be high pressure with all of these people.
Mm-hmm.
What would be a way to leave where Luke can't go after you? You get in that helicopter and fly your ass away. He ain't flying after you. He doesn't have wings. I don't think this was so much of an entrance as an escape plan. The Flyaway Bride.
That makes sense. It works both ways. So if she does get married, it's this magnificent entrance. And if she doesn't, it's a magnificent exit. Either way, the show has great material.
It's amazing.
Yes.
She gets out of the helicopter and she starts like shooting the peace sign and waving. I feel like Madeleine was hyper aware that she was being photographed throughout the whole wedding.
She got off of that helicopter like she was a celebrity.
She did. It's almost like she wasn't in the moment, though. Even at the altar, when she's kissing him, she keeps posing.
That kind of gives me some concerns. This is supposed to be one of the most beautiful days of her life, the day that she's getting married. And if she can't even live in the moment because she's too busy thinking about the photo shot and things like that, that's not good.
It also gives me concerns about our society where she feels like she needs to maybe have the perfect social media, and that's taking her out of the moment on her wedding day. Could you tell?
Yeah, but I always think she's kind of dramatic in everything that she does. I didn't think a lot about it. She's just dramatic.
She is dramatic, but she was posing. Like she would kiss him and then take her hand and like pose his face beside hers.
Well, maybe then she's building a modeling portfolio.
Perfect excuse. Luke, pay for a wedding and I'll
I
build
get
my
me a modeling portfolio. What better shots than getting off of a helicopter to have in your portfolio?
Luke's done spent his life saving
On her modeling career.
I love it. Good for her. So Luke is bawling. She gets off that helicopter. I don't know if he is crying because there's everything he's ever worked for in his life, shooting out of an airplane, helicopter, whatever it is. But he like starts crying in that moment. Even Jim is getting teary-eyed. He's crying throughout the entire wedding. We see him crying at the reception. We see him in the dang ITMs when he's talking to the producers, reliving it crying. Pull yourself together, man.
Maybe they're not happy tears after all.
And Madeleine, she has a stone face. Like she's been Botox beyond movement. She isn't having any sort of reaction to this.
We don't know what kind of reaction she's having. It's not that she's not having any. We're just not seeing it.
I wonder what her shoes looked like. She was towering above Luke. Like, is he a short king?
Yeah, I noticed that she was towering above him. And I'm usually good at remembering when couples have a woman that's taller than the man. And I do not remember that with them. So I'm like, what kind of heels does she have on that she's actually that much taller than him?
The kind that require two people to walk her down the aisle, which who was that handsome man walking her down the aisle?
I don't know.
He was cute.
Like they didn't even give us the little name to the side of the picture or anything to tell us who that was.
It's even cuter that he's mysterious.
Yeah.
In their vows, Madeleine thanks Luke for teaching her independence. Do you think she's confusing that with codependence? What? Independence? How has Luke taught her independence?
I just thought it was an odd thing to have as a vow, period.
So strange.
It was a strange thing to say.
What do you think she meant?
I don't know. Why would you even say it anyway?
Maybe because he helped her build the nail business?
Maybe.
I don't know. That's my best guess. But
I mean,
when
if
you're breaking up
writing
and getting back
vows,
together, it feels very codependent.
when you're writing vows for somebody that you love, thanking them for teaching you independence is not something that I think is up there in the top 10.
And you got married young.
I got married very young. I didn't write my own vows, but I wouldn't have included that anyway. I don't think people teach you independence. That's something you do yourself. Your independence is you.
And where is the proof that she was independent before she came to him?
I
She
know.
was
So why
independent by herself on the street at 12.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand why she even included it as a part of the wedding vows.
Maybe she meant codependent. I don't know.
Maybe
It's
she
very
meant
confusing.
something. Maybe she meant something completely different. I don't know.
This whole episode had my mind so boggled that Unlike,
True.
and she's
True.
saying it right.
It's all over the damn place.
So they say you can seal this union with a kiss. What did you think of their first kiss?
Good Lord.
Was she trying to eat his face off?
I think she was trying to send him to a different country if she was stamping this thing with the seal of approval.
She was trying to get him pregnant. They needed to get a room. There was tongue. You see tongue darting out of her mouth and into his.
Gross. It was gross.
And every time they're kissing, they are like hot and horny at the reception. She's like jumping in his arms,
Is this
tongue down his throat.
Ugh. Ugh.
She's like, I better seal this real good. We've been on and off 10 or more times since the wedding. Let's make sure this sticks.
Yeah.
Let me stick my tongue into your stomach. Make it hard to get out.
It was gross.
Did you notice she had this like triangle tattoo on the inside of her elbow?
Mm-mm.
I was like, is that Illuminati?
Maybe. I don't think she's in the pay grade for Illuminatis.
But-
Those are like super rich people.
Well, she thinks she is.
Mm.
She thinks Luke is. They can't imagine their lives without each other. Luke is so fucking in love. We end
What
their
a
segment
joke.
with her trying to impregnate his mouth under the fireworks. I was happy for them for
Mhm.
once. And worried, yes.
It was a beautiful wedding.
But if anything, this episode has just taught us everybody has issues.
Yes. To make
We
Luke
all-
and Madelein getting married look good, everybody else had a shitload of issues this episode.
I am just so surprised at how well the TLC editors had us going all season to flip the script on us in the last episode, because next week we go to the tell-alls.
Bravo. Bravo.
Great work. Great work. Preview for the tell-all. I'm so
Looked
excited.
interesting. Yeah. me
Pattiya
too.
is showing Luke and Anthony how to dance. She's like, bend that knee and do a figure eight. Jenny and Sumit have the same hairstyle. Greta tells Anthony that the sex fell flat. So I guess she wasn't able to.
Matthew. It was Matthew,
did I
not
say?
Anthony. You said
Oh,
Anthony. Yeah. It's okay.
I'm in my head like, which would be more fun? No, Lauren.
She went for the criticism of the sex.
Minot, she goes behind a curtain and says she's getting divorced and then stomps out of the tell-all. So I'm excited. And we've got 2 weeks. 2 weeks left for 90 Day the Other Way and Sister Wives. They're both ending the same week.
of the same week.
I'm
Jinx.
gonna miss 90 Day.
I am too. I said that about Hunt for Love though too. When it ended, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna miss these people.
I still do miss those people.
I do too. And now I've got another set that I'm gonna miss, or at least
Why
some
do
of
you
them.
guys make us fall in love and hate you at the same time? It's such a conundrum, this whole episode. Channel surfers, thank you so much for listening. You can find us not only on YouTube, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcast. We have a Facebook group, a Facebook page, Instagram, TikTok. Come join us in all of the places. We love it. Thank you so much for surfing with us. And we will see you Friday with the traders.
Oh,
Hopefully just one episode. Fingers crossed. Bye.
Let's ride.
Too